Thank you for tuning in to MacroView Television. Welcome to a brand new edition of the Taiwan Outlook, the program that presents Taiwan to the world. And I'm your host, Wu Ruiguo. We all understand that diplomacy and Taiwan's international space are the priority concerns of our government and our people alike. And on today's program, we're delighted and honored to have a very special guest, His Excellency Mr. Chin-tien, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of China, to be our special guest to discuss those issues and much more. Welcome to our program, Minister.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you very much, Mr. Wu.
Yes, it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Minister, if we may start with questions on the personal side.
Okay.
We understand that you went to school at the National Zhenji University.
That's right.
In the Department of Diplomacy.
That's right.
Can you share with us, when did you first develop your interest in foreign service?
Well, in fact, I developed my interest in foreign affairs well before I went to the university.
Okay.
In fact, I went to a normal school,
Yes.
which is a college or school
Yeah, for teachers.
for teachers.
Yes.
And I spent 3 years after finishing my studies there. I spent 3 years teaching. And it was during that time I developed my interest in foreign affairs, because at that time it was in the 60s, early 60s.
Yes.
And we had a very important area for our diplomacy that was in Africa, where a lot of these newly developed countries, newborn countries, and while we are trying to strive to preserve our status, our seat at UN, we need a lot of foreign support, countries that has vote in UN. And these are the areas, that we have to gain their support.
Yeah, of course.
And I pay a lot of attention to that one. And that's when I developed my interest in foreign affairs.
Yes.
So I choose, after finishing my teaching obligations, 3 years.
3 years, okay.
I went to university. I chose foreign affairs, the Department of Diplomacy of National Tsinghua University, as you rightly point out. Yes, it was actually my second, choice. The first one was the Foreign Language Department, National Taiwan University.
Okay.
So I was very lucky that I got what I really needed, I wanted.
Well, it certainly did a big service for our country. And Minister, once you get out of college, was that join the Foreign Affairs Department preferred career choice for you? Was that your number one choice?
It is. And it's always been my mission. It's my ambition that I will spend the rest of my life. At that time, I will spend the rest of my life working for my country, for our country's foreign affairs, foreign diplomacy. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and you mentioned the fact that you had a primary focus on Africa.
Yes.
And especially once you joined the Department of Foreign Affairs, that you have developed the interest and also the assignments being assigned to different parts of the world, including places like Ireland, Australia, and subsequently, most recently, Indonesia. Yes. How did you like all these overseas assignments and the kinds of different challenges that they present, to you as a career diplomat?
Yes, in fact, I enjoy every overseas posting.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I was in Africa, I was in Europe, Ireland, I was in the United States.
Yes.
I was in Australia, I was in Indonesia. And each overseas posting present me a lot of opportunities to know more about foreign affairs, to know our status in the international community, and also for me to face a lot of challenges.
Of course. Yeah, those were very difficult times.
Yes.
Yeah. And you mentioned the fact that you were at one time the director for the TECO office in Houston. How did you like your experience in the U.S. as compared to other, assignments?
Well, in Houston, we had a very big Taiwanese and Chinese community.
Exactly.
And I did make a lot of friends, not only American friends, but also a lot of friends in the local communities, Taiwanese as well as Chinese communities. And I enjoy working with them.
Okay.
In fact, I recently just come back from an overseas trip to Europe. I mean, to the United States.
Okay, to the U.S.
And also went back to Houston. I told my friends there that it's somehow like a homecoming.
Yes.
It's very sentimental sort of trip for me.
Yes.
And I was very happy to see so many old friends and making new ones, both American as well as our compatriots there.
Yeah. And most recently, of course, Minister, you were the Taiwan representative to Indonesia. And Indonesia also has a very large Taiwanese and Chinese community there.
Yes.
And does that experience very similar to the ones that you had in Houston?
Quite similar, yes. Yeah. We have a lot of Taiwanese investments in Indonesia.
Yes.
In fact, our investment there has been ranked as number 7th largest.
Okay, foreign investment.
Creating a lot of job opportunities for our Indonesian friends.
Yes, indeed. And also the fact is, we understand that while you were the Taiwan representative in Indonesia, the Macroview Television also has overseas representatives stationed in Indonesia. In Jakarta, and also have has some prior exchanges and interactions with you. Can you share with us those experiences?
Well, not only in Indonesia. While I was in the United States,
in the U.S.
in Houston,
as well,
as well as in Canberra, in Australia, and in Sydney or in Brisbane, I have a lot of interactions with your company, your colleagues, microphone. Yes, very good. Enjoy working with them very much. In fact, it's a great pleasure working with them.
And we can see that, Minister, you have been stationed all over the world, that you have made many, many friends around the world as well. Were there any particular experiences that you can remember that stood out, as far as your, friendships are concerned with all these different people, different nationalities around the world? Anybody in particular?
Well, as I said, I just come back from my trip to the United States.
Yes.
Where I met my old friend, the former president of the United States, George Bush Sr.
Oh, okay.
When he was there, he had a home in Houston.
Yes.
And we happened to have been not very far from each other. My residence is not far from his residence, his office.
Okay.
So this time I went to see him again.
Okay, paying him a visit.
We really have a very nice talk. He was really very kind to our country.
Of course.
And I also met President George Bush, another former president of the United States, in Junior.
Yes. And
we also have a very nice talk.
Yes.
These are very fond memories for me because when he was a governor of the state of Texas, we have already working with him.
Yeah, established a relationship.
Yes. He really have a great interest in seeing that our relations with the United States being well developed to our mutual benefit.
Yes.
And he is also very much concerned about the security and the stability in the Taiwan Strait.
Yes.
We exchange a lot of views on this very important subject. And he, in fact, is very much appreciative of our new foreign policy as well as our new mainland China policy as adopted by President Ma Ying-jeou since he came to power in May last year.
Yes.
He really have a high regard of our policy, our leader here, as well as a great endorsement of our policies.
Precisely. And Minister, we know that Taiwan's international position has always been very difficult because of history, because of the tension with China. And can you then share with us some of the bigger challenges that you have faced as a diplomat representing Taiwan?
Yes. Well, in the past, as you may be aware that we somehow adopted a rather confrontational approach towards a lot of issues.
Yes.
Particularly our relations with mainland China was quite tense.
Yes.
Taiwan Strait is being dubbed as one of the dangerous flashpoints in Asia. And a lot of countries been worried about the situation. But now, we have a new approach.
Yes.
Relations between Taiwan and China is much improved. So we've been, regarded as a responsible stakeholder in the international community.
As a peacemaker.
Yes, peacemaker. We don't want to be, dubbed as wrongly as a kind of troublemaker.
No.
That's not a nice name for our country. So in fact, we've been able to transform from what we believe as a troublemaker to a peacemaker. This is a very important development.
Yes.
The challenges that I have ever faced was that try to convince our friends in the international community
Yes.
that Taiwan is indeed a responsible stakeholder.
Yes.
And we proved to be that way. You know, Taiwan would also like to participate meaningfully in a lot of international activities. We have to be very frank that Taiwan is rather unique. Our situation is rather unique
Indeed.
in the community of nations, and there are a lot of challenges. So these are the areas that, as a foreign service officer,
Yes.
every one of us,
Yeah,
like
must
I myself,
assume, yes.
has to be, be very much aware. At the same time, we have to work harder to
Indeed.
strive for a better position for our country in the world.
Yes.
That's our challenge.
Yeah. Challenge number one. Yes.
Challenge number one.
Yes.
And I can give you some examples because we need a lot of this adequate
Okay.
recognition as a nation.
Yes.
So a lot of activities.
Yes.
We have
We need
to
be visible. We have to
be
part of
visible
it.
and
Yes.
being recognized.
Yes. Yes.
That's our challenge.
Okay, good. I want to thank the Minister for a very comprehensive introductory remark about Taiwan's international experiences and also his overseas assignments. We're going to take a short break on the Taiwan Outlook. We'll be back in 3 minutes and continue our discussion with Minister Yang Chin-tien, Foreign Minister of Republic of China here in Taiwan. I'll see you in a little bit.